Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. We are going to be going live across to Dallas, Texas, to be talking to Trainer of the Year, or should I say Trainer of the Years. James, let me just give us a start up, and then after our intro, we'll be bringing Mr. James into the house. Good evening, Derrick. How you doing?
I'm good. What's up? How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's been a while. It's been a minute, but it's all good.
It's good. Yeah, no doubt.
So you've been a busy man, and you continue being a busy man. I will call you Trainer of the Years. I'm not gonna say Trainer of the Years. Very disrespectful. Trainer of the Years. You put too much hard work in to be disrespected like that, brother.
Hey, that's okay, man. Listen, a lot of people who do less, who work less, always try to, disrespect people who do more. So it's okay. Yours was accident, but it's okay. But I know I get disrespected all the time.
Trainer of the Years, absolutely. So now I think we'll jump into this one first. I'm sure you've heard the news that Sean Porter and Terence Crawford are going to be fighting in November on a pay-per-view, according to Bob Arum.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that they may be fighting. I don't know anything about anything else. So
What are your thoughts on this fight? I
I
mean,
think it'll be a good fight. I think that you got two good fighters facing each other head to head. I think it'll be a great fight.
a lot of people have been criticizing Crawford for the level of opposition, but they can't criticize him now fighting
Not for this fight, no,
Sean
you
Porter.
can't. That's right. It's a good fight. I think I remember seeing something where Kenny Porter and Sean Porter were trying to fight him like right after they fought ERROL, so like maybe like 2 years. So now they
Yeah.
finally got it. So it's good.
Do you think that's a Bob Arum thing that Terence hasn't fought a top tier welterweight yet, or do you feel it's Terence himself and the fact that he's been forced into this position by WBO, or is it the case that Terence wants to run his contract down and jump to PBC? What do you
No,
think?
no, I think that I mean really I'm not in it and I don't like to speak on people's business, but
Yeah,
I think that he's a fighter and he wants to fight the best fighters. So I mean I don't know who you will point the finger at. I think he want to fight. He said he's been wanting to fight these big guys or whatever, all the other names in the top 10 guys. So you got to take him for his word and believe him and trust him. So I mean, I think that has to be some other entity that's stopping these things from happening.
okay. So let's shoot back over to your business and your corner. And first of all, the Brian Castano fight against Jamal Charlo.
Yeah.
The decision. Now, as a trainer, some trainers in their hearts would say, "Well, he didn't box the way I expected him to box, so he should have lost the fight, and it serves him right." And other trainers would say it was undisputed, it was a close fight. Run it back, we'll get it right second time round. What are your thoughts?
I think
Uh,
that I don't think that he should deserve to lose the fight. I think that um, life happens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that certain situations happen in fights. And I mean, Brian Castano came to fight. But at the same time, he only fought when Jermell was.
Sorry, go ahead.
So
You got a call coming. It's cool. Your sound's gone. Your sound's gone. You've muted yourself, I think. Still, yeah, you're talking, but your sound's gone. There, you've muted yourself while the sound went. What you might have to do is go out and come back in, if that's the case. Okay, Derrick James has just gone. He'll be back in a moment. He had a call come through, and sometimes when calls come through, the people can automatically get muted. That's not my. Okay, let's go. Yeah, it's good to see you in the room. He says, ask Coach James how Frank Martin is doing in camp with Spence. I will get round to asking him that question. Thank you for the question. Restart? No. We're not restarting. I've just asked Derrick to go out the room and come back in the room, and he should get back in after that. So that's what can happen sometimes. Sometimes you get a call, and then when you get the call, it can bugger up the system. So we're just waiting here. Oh, by the way, get your questions in now so we can ask Derrick on the line when he comes back in. So get your questions ready so I don't have to be asking questions myself. I've got a bag of questions to ask him, but let's see where he is. There he's back in the house.
Here we go.
Okay, Derrick, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying?
Yeah, I think that. Listen, I think that I don't know. I don't think because I saw the fight, I was there, just like everybody else. The only time Brian Castano really fought or threw punches was when JERMELL laid against the ropes, or when JERMELL was fighting, throwing punches, he didn't throw punches. When like he was counter punching, when JERMELL came after him with the jab, backing him down, when he moved, he didn't, So I think that, hey, it was a good fight. It was a back and forth fight, and I mean, I don't know, that was it.
I kind of, in parts, that fight reminded me of when Lennox Lewis fought Ray Mercer. Lennox said that anytime his back was against the ropes and Mercer would throw a punch, the crowd would cheer. So it made it look as if Mercer was in control of the fight. But he said a lot of the punches Mercer was throwing, I was blocking and catching, and I was actually throwing punches as well. Your thoughts?
I think that was a part of it, but he was landing the shots also. But most of the shots, JERMELL was blocking a lot of them. But as I told him after the fight, you have a judge behind you, you have a judge behind him, you have the judges on the side. You see what I'm saying? They're not right. They're not the referee. So, or they're not watching on television. So they really can't. They could only judge it by their perception of what they think they're seeing. And so that's what I think. But I think that like this. JERMELL blocked a lot of shots, but Brian Castano landed some shots also. But Castano only threw punches when JERMELL was on the ropes, which, I mean, listen, it's okay. But I think that in the later rounds, JERMELL, he was a controlling factor. If you look in 11, 12, 9, 10, 11 round, Castano really didn't do anything. I mean, so I think that had he started earlier, he probably wouldn't even made it that late in the fight because the guy would have, he probably would have succumbed to the punches or whatever. Because I think that, what he was doing was, he was stealing rounds too. Like he would not do anything in the beginning of the round, in the last 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Shoe shine.
Because I was like, man, do they still call it shoe shine what he's doing? But basically, it was shoe shine.
Shoe shine, yeah. Pitter patter.
I was like, man, look like he's shoe shining. But I didn't know if that was still the correct terminology for it.
That's old school, isn't it? I just stay with the old school. He was shoe shine. Let's see who he was. Well, last 15 seconds.
That's what he did. Shoe shine. I mean, it was like earlier rounds. I think that, but in the late, he tried to do it in the mid round, but I think he wasn't successful with it. But it was okay. It was a good fight. I think that.
Yeah, but you would have peeped that as a trainer and gone, "Hey, listen, this guy's trying to steal." Did you feel you were able to get the best out of JERMELL that particular night, or did you feel that JERMELL was so involved that he couldn't quite take the instructions in from yourself? Because that happens in some fights where you're just so caught up in the moment that your trainer's talking, but you're not responding. You're just doing your own thing.
I think that I think I was able to get the best out of him for that particular moment because when I said whatever I said to him, he went out and those last 4 rounds or whatever, and he gave, he put it on the guy. And if you think about it, the rules are in boxing is that the ropes cannot hold you up.
Mm-hmm.
The ropes cannot hold you up. So remember that. How many times did Jermell hit him and he threw him into the ropes and he just bounced back off the ropes, right? What are those considered? If the ropes can't hold you, if the ropes are not there, what would have happened?
Yeah, got knocked down.
Okay, so what were those? I think it happened like at least 3 times.
Yeah, but
2 or 3
that is
times.
well, okay. So then let me put that back on you.
So
Is that not something that you could have pulled up the referee and said, "Yo, ref, you're using them ropes
well,
illegally, or you're using them ropes to"?
because I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I could have said something to him about it, but that was the actual case. Even when I corrected him on guy was throwing elbows. He said, "Oh, I'm like, man, listen, I'm sitting up and watching the guy throw elbows. He's just like you shoot shiner, but he's trying to just hit him with anything." And he was intentionally throwing elbows, and the referee kind of like, no, he. I said, man, how can you tell me what I'm looking at? You can't. He was probably looking at something different from. I'm looking at it from behind. I can see the elbow coming. He's on the side, so it's a little different. But yeah, man, it's okay. I mean, hopefully it'll get ran back and he'll get to redeem himself.
Do you buy into any conspiracy theories that, well, you're a very successful trainer, and you now getting that fight and getting that win with Jermell Charlo, uh, that you would have become an even more successful trainer, Jermell would have been undisputed, and that would have been that. And they thought, well, no, we really don't want that happening, so we're gonna put this out as a draw. And everything you've got to do twice as hard, because to me, from the outset, it looks like that you've done a lot as a trainer, and this is not blowing smoke up your backside. It is just the resume that you have and what you're doing. That when you're not being acknowledged for that, and people who've done a lot less getting more credit for it, it seems to me that there is a system out there. Just my opinion, there's a system out there that doesn't work at times for people who are successful but not of the right um
Hugh,
well, we could say pew, but
Hugh, Hugh.
not of the same collection, let's say.
Right. I think that you know what.
Do you feel that way? Let's put it this way.
I mean, man. I don't even like. I don't even want to. I don't even. It could be possible, but I'm not. But I'm not thinking like that. I think that. I think that.
But even success, like the success is not going to the people that they want the success to be going
But
to.
they can't control my success because I keep continuing to be successful. I mean, every year, and so I think that that's why I can't really get caught up in that because I, as long as my guys keep winning and hopefully keep winning, that's the key to everything else. They
But
can't.
the fact, yeah, I know that all that sounds quite cliche, Derrick, but at the back of your mind, it's there. It's not like it's not like
No.
it's not like it's not. It's like the elephant in the room. It's there, but we say, well, let's ignore the elephant that's in the room. Let's just keep moving regardless. But the elephant shouldn't be there in the first place
True,
on a level playing field, and it's not a level playing field.
but
And if we
but
don't,
but but it's like when have we ever had a level playing field? I mean, unless we're
yeah,
playing against each other. So I think that. But what I'll say is that I can't get caught up in that because if I think about that, then I'm already accepting the loss or whatever or
no,
anything
no,
short of what or anything short of what I desire. So I
yeah,
think
but
that
you're a positive man, and of course you will not get sidetracked, and probably stuff like that will make you work even harder at
well,
your game.
well, I don't know if it'll make me work even harder. I think that I'm past proving myself only to my guys and to
Mm,
myself. Like I mean, I
mm.
trademarked on my greatest competition, which is true. So I'm not really worried about anybody else. The awards, they come and they go, whatever. It's like, you know, that's the thing about it, is that you have to be able to, when you look for affirmation from other people, you realize, man, you're never gonna get it because any accolade that you attain is truly yours. Like that's for you. You can't even asking somebody to acknowledge you for your own accolades. It's kind of when you think about it. Because I remember I was young, I was in amateurs. I won all these national titles or whatever, and you realize they don't really matter to anybody else but you and everybody else who won the titles with you. So you think about as a grown up, it's basically the same thing. Winning trainer of the year is cool, but it really only means something to you because it was you did it for you. You did it for your guys. I mean, and them people, they don't. I mean, I don't. You grow from that. You grow when you realize like what would be the reason why you don't get an award, and then when you don't get the award, you're like, hey man, y'all, whatever. You kind of gotta. I don't want to fight with you for your own thing. Like you want to give your thing to whoever you want to give it to. That's what they
I
do.
hear that. I hear that. I hear that. I think that's going to be a very inspirational, positive message to many that listen to this interview. Coming back to the fight with Castano, and I just want to finish on this note. Would you be pushing for an immediate rematch, or would you be saying let's get a fight in between and then go for a rematch?
I would be pushing for whatever JERMELL wants to do because
Okay.
I don't want to. Like I said, I don't want to interject my personal feelings into a situation that it's like it's his life, it's his career. I'm just here hopefully to help him be better. You know what I mean, or be great. And so it's like I can't be really truly. So I want him to. Hey man, this is his life because I think it's all about him and what he wants to do and what his management want to do. I think that's the key element to everything. And so we go off of that cue. I go off of that cue. They just said him, and I said, okay, let's go get him. I mean, so they point
Okay.
him out. That's what
And
it
you
is.
prepare the game plan.
Right.
I hear that. Okay, so let's talk about that next big fight. That I'll even call it super fight. Some would say the handing over of the torch. Others would say, whoa, 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 hold on a second. We're talking about Manny Pacquiao here. So 2 years ago we spoke. I think it's about 2 years ago we spoke about this, and you did it, or a year ago we did an interview, and you spoke about Manny Pacquiao. You said this guy's still a danger, still a threat. Do you still feel that way in 2021, uh, or would you feel that maybe we've seen the best of Pacquiao and you're going to be facing a not as dangerous opponent?
I think that in the past, we've seen Pacquiao as being great. I think that even if you think about this, from whenever he fought Keith Thurman, he's only been resting.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like it's not like he's been resting. He hadn't been pushing himself. He's been working out and staying fit, but I mean he hadn't been in the ring taking blows to the head or whatever. So I mean I think that that's the key element that he's going to be back to himself. I think that or the best version of himself at 42. That's what you have to expect. The best version of himself at 42. I think that he's going to come out there because he's an aggressive fighter, but at the same time, he's very smart and he's intelligent. So he's going to use his athleticism to, do what he does. I mean, I think that, they're banking that he's faster, they're banking that we're a lot slower, and, they're using his athleticism as the key to his success. So, I mean, you just got to be like, anticipate these things because he's coming.
Andre Ward said something interesting. He said that Pacquiao having that rest may work for him or it may work against him.
Right.
He says, well, that rest, well, we don't know what happened in between the Keith Thurman fight and this fight with Spence. And during that rest period, at his age, it'd be probably better if he kept boxing than he stopped boxing and rested. Your thoughts on that?
I think that Andre Ward's a very intelligent individual, and I think that's his personal perspective on it. I mean, like he obviously analyzed it. I didn't think about it like that, but from his perspective, it's like it could hurt him or it could help him. It could have helped him. I think that any time, put it like this: training 2 months is not gonna get it for a guy 42. You have to be training for like 5 or 6 months. because you have to work out all the kinks. You got to get these stages and levels. So that's basically what Underwater's talking about. I think that him fighting is would be more wear and tear on his body, even though at the same time I think that he stays busy, but he can. I think he may be able to get that busyness in the gym and preparing for the fight, than to be prepared for other fights and get I think that I always say we can only take so many blows to the head as fighters before we start to slur and we start to people can't understand our speech. So we don't know what number he's on. We don't know what number these guys are on. I mean, for anybody, So I think that him resting like for those 2 years, from my perspective,
With them
it's a
good.
good thing because we don't know what his number is. It's a number. Everyone has one. Most people generally quit before they hit the number. Or at the same time, I know a lot of guys who, I grew up boxing with or whatever, they live in that number.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you make of their team, Pacquiao's team, saying that they're going to take the fight and take the same approach as they did to Antonio Margarito?
I don't. I mean, cause I'm not on the social media, so I don't know what the people saying. But I think that they whatever that means. I mean, hey man, he beat the heck out of Margarita. I was at the fight, so I guess they're coming to beat the heck out of Errol. But I mean, I think that was when Errol was like fought in Dallas. It's like maybe like 11 or 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
If he can put a performance on like that, he's already in the Hall of Fame. So I mean, he put him in there 2 times.
Yeah. What
Hey,
do you make of?
let me run to the restroom right quick.
Sure. Okay.
Break. I'll be right back.
Okay. Um, Dragon of the West say you know boxing, you don't know who Derrick James is. You should be ashamed of yourself, my friend. You should be ashamed of yourself. Derrick James is the trainer of Errol Spence. Is also the trainer of JERMELL Charlo, the current light middleweight champion, unified, and he was just in an undisputed fight. James also was a former boxer, USA heavyweight boxer as well.
Right, I'm back. I'm back. I got you. I'm back.
Yeah, let's bring you back. Okay. Derrick is back in the house. Right. So we were talking about the Pacquiao. Well, I can't remember the question I was going to actually ask you.
Well, you asked me about. They said it's gonna be like fighting Margarita.
Margarita, we talked about, and you said it was about. Yes, this is the next question I'm going to ask you. What do you make of Keith Thurman's comments that Manny Pacquiao's hands felt like rock? Do they concern you, or you think, well, that's just what it is?
I didn't hear it because I'm not on. I'm not on the internet. Look, I work 7 days a week, so I have a job. I have a job. I have in-home clients I go to Tuesday, Thursday morning, and I work after I go from my job, 6 to 12, 6 a.m. to 12. I go to the gym, so I'm never on nothing. I'm not on the internet like that. So I haven't heard what he said.
So that's what they asked Thurman. What do you think of Pacquiao? He said, well, when I got hit by Pacquiao, it's like I hit like a rock. His hands were like rocks.
I mean, everybody says he's a big puncher, like Broner, Floyd. Hey man, he's a big puncher. We'll have somebody in there watching him wrap the hands and make sure he's not putting anything in there. But he's a big puncher. I'm not, and I don't even want to lean towards that.
No, of course, but
listen, put it like this. I mean, we can say the same thing about Margarita. Nobody wanted to
Check his gloves.
blame him for that. And after that, he never really beat anybody after that. After he got busted. So I mean, I don't.
Exactly.
But I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to put it like that because I don't know. I mean, we don't. I don't know. I mean, I didn't hear Keith say it, but everybody says he can punch really hard. So you just gotta expect that you're gonna go fight a guy who's very explosive. Some people, big punches.
On that subject, and that's a nice subject to kind of move into. Evander Holyfield talked about Deontay Wilder's last performance against Tyson Fury, and he mentioned about water. And he said, you need to watch your water. As a trainer, what are the things that you bear in mind on the eve or the week of a big fight and actually at the arena itself? What are the things you look out for?
Well, I don't know what watch your water means. I have no idea what that means. But, after you weigh in, there is the rehydration period. Listen to what it is. Rehydration period. So it's not a period everybody thinks you go eat because they're hungry from losing weight. No, you have to rehydrate. And that's drink. It's not about the food. You can go, you can go 21 days without eating. You go 3 days without drinking water, you're going to die. So it's the rehydration period. And so I don't know. I mean, I just make sure the guys stay hydrated and that they're. But I want them to be able to be, mobile, not so heavy, not so sluggish or lethargic. And I think that you want to be able to be relaxed.
When Holyfield's talking about the water being spiked, the possibility that water could be spiked.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm asking you is, what precautions do you take with your fighters to ensure no foul play can happen, whether it be wraps, water, gloves, whatever? What do you do?
Well, we run a really tight ship, man. We don't. We drink our own water. We take care of everything ourselves. We don't really let anybody bring anything to us. That's not a superstition. That's just how, we're around a tight knit situations where we don't really interact with a lot of people on the outside, for fight week. And so we don't. It's not even a thought of mine. It's never a thought of mine. But we keep everything tight. We keep everything in house. And so, it's like 4 people with us, maybe 5. I mean, it's not, his father, not going to spike a drink. I'm not going to spike a drink. His best buddy, not going to spike a drink. So, I mean, it's like, whatever. So, yeah.
So if there was a call to make, you walked into, doesn't have to be Manny Pacquiao, but Pacquiao is a good one because it's such a big fight. You walked into the dressing room and you discovered that the gloves, and I'm not suggesting that Pacquiao is doing anything dodgy. I'm just using it because it's such a big fight and the magnitude of the fight. You walked into the dressing room and you went, "No, I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with those wraps. I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with those wraps. I'm not happy with the way it's been wrapped." And you take them wraps off, and their team say, "No, the wraps are fine." And listen, they're saying, "You'll fight with these wraps, or the fight is off." Can you take? Could you make a call like that yourself?
Yeah.
If it comes to it.
Yeah, but Manny Pacquiao wraps his own hands, supposedly. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say if I felt like something was wrong with the wraps, I would say something to him about it. I wouldn't have an issue with that.
Okay, and do you have any issues also with fighters now covering the cameras in the dressing rooms? Do you think that's appropriate, or is it something you would do yourself?
Covering the cameras.
Yeah, it's a new thing where they cover the cameras in the dressing rooms. I don't know,
I've
but
never
it's
heard
done.
of that before.
Well, it's something happened there.
It's obviously I'm really a lame guy because I don't know anything about social media. I really don't. This is new. Like I'm learning. I'm learning a lot of new things from the motherland. So if you think about it, a man from the motherland from the UK to Africa. I mean, I don't keep up with a lot of stuff. Man, I work a lot. Like I'm telling you, like I work 7 days a week, and I'm in the gym. I'm working, so I don't really follow a lot. So I didn't even know that was a thing. Even when you asked me,
Wow.
Holyfield in the water, I thought you said like, what are you talking about? So I'm like rehydration because I'm like I'm lame. I'm like I don't know anything. I mean, I'm just like I have this particular job, but it's like, hey man, I don't know anything other than what I have to do.
Wow. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting, Derek, there. Right, I'm going to shoot through these questions that people have got because there's only a couple of them, but I'll shoot through them quickly. Because ask Coach James, how is Frank Martin doing in camp with Spence?
He's doing really good. He's really good. He's looking really good for real.
I don't know why he keeps asking this question, but I'll ask you the question. Ask him who's the single biggest punch he's ever had on the pads. I'm sure you've asked that question before, but go
Um,
ahead.
Man, I gotta think maybe ERROL, maybe, It depends, man. It could be JERMELL, one or two. I'm not, I'm gonna tell you though, to be honest, when Frank Martin does throw a punch, one particular punch, it hurts my shoulder. So I mean, like, but it's
Ooh.
not like it's like a boom, a 30 punch, but it's a punch like, like and put like this, it hurts the shoulder that I'm not even catching the punch with. So I mean, it's like
Right.
if I catch it, boom, I was like, hey man, so yeah, he can punch pretty good too.
Um, will Frank Martin box on the Spence versus Pacquiao undercard?
Yeah, yeah. Frank Martin is promoted by Errol Spence, so yeah, he's ranked number four
Tell
in the world in
Coach.
the WBA.
Okay. Tell Coach I like the sparring he brought in for Spence. By Trey Akhmedov. Akhmedov, I butchered name. I'm sorry. And Alberto Palmetta is a good friend, actually.
You
He's a
know
good
him?
friend, Alberto
Oh
Palmetta.
yeah,
Yeah, I
okay,
know him. I do know him. Yeah, I do know him.
okay.
Palmetto. If it's Palmetto, I think Palmetto's the same guy that trained was with
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Olympics, man.
Staverne's trainer. Oh,
He is Mooney,
uh,
Coach Mooney.
Mooney. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mooney.
yeah,
That's how I
yeah, yeah,
know Palmetto from Mooney.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. So how's that going for you? Is it training going, sparring going well?
Yeah, it's going good. Yeah, They sparred today like 10 rounds together. So yeah, I mean he's been sparring like 14 rounds. So we'll start taking it up a little bit more to like 15, 16, maybe even 18. But yeah,
Um,
Palmetto's good. Yeah.
um, Glev Grahamson asked, did Derrick James have a trainer he looked up to, or admired, or learnt something from, or gained?
I think that what I said is my boxing coach gave me my foundation. And I built everything I do now from that foundation. And so I would say him. I don't necessarily I like Nacho Beristain, I would say, but I don't really watch anybody, but I'll say the mock boxing trainer Taylor August, he just passed like 2 weeks ago. So he
So to
gave
hear
me
that.
he gave me my foundation and I built myself up to from that particular point. But then I like, Nacho Beristain also.
Fantastic. Ask Coach, can he share of the boxing gyms you see from Coach Charles Mooney while on camp?
What did you say?
Goes here. Ask Coach, can he share of the boxing gyms you see from Coach Charles Mooney while on camp? Charles Mooney's a funny guy. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah, yeah. So share what now?
Yeah, boxing gyms, what you've learned, or did you gain anything from
Oh,
being
you
in the
know
company
what
of
was
Charles
funny?
Mooney?
I mean, like we just talk about like boxing technique and fundamentals when we talk. Because what happens, man, I'm always in my office to be honest. But I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, I like if you think about it like this, your whole day is filled with being engulfed in boxing. So you want to steal moments and minutes and seconds or whatever you need to clear your head or to get deep in what you're doing. And so I'm like, we talk, but I'm like, I'm normally in my office, man. You know what I mean? Because I'm like watching video or film or just kind of like, just like meditating, to be honest. But we do like, he is a funny guy, though. I like him.
He's very funny. I'd spent a week with him when Staverne was fighting Joe Joyce, and every night that guy had me laughing. He's hilarious, hilarious.
Right.
Ask coach, did he have a chance to watch Jamil IBF mandatory on the undercard of Jamil versus Castano?
You know, I watched a little bit of the guy. I watched a little bit of it, yeah.
Okay.
I seen like I was like, that's the guy you gonna fight after me, whatever. And so he's watching it, and I watched a little bit of it. That was kind of it. I mean, it was like a smidget. I don't even know how the fight ended, how it finished. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure he won. You know.
Okay. Have you ever trained a heavyweight?
Hey man, never been that fortunate. But I think that everything's about timing.
I know at one point that. Mhm.
Huh?
And you mentioned about Deontay Wilder, and had
No.
you had the chance to remodel him?
Well, I mean, but listen, man, listen, Deontay Wilder looks amazing. I mean, I've been seeing him on the mitts working out. I mean, he made the right choice. I mean, I think that you people see certain things and I think you could be the one. Man, no, he found the one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they got, I mean, to see how he's moving, and I mean, I support him 1,000% with everything he did. I mean, I was like, I'm not the answer to everybody. That's what people do. I'm not the answer. I mean, I don't even know how much longer I'll be involved in boxing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, hey, man, he did a great job. I mean, he's doing a great job.
So there are a lot of detractors of Malik Scott and Deontay Wilder. He's not improved. He's the same fighter. I don't think so. I think he's improved.
I see. Look, I mean, he wasn't throwing jabs like that and punching like that and stepping like that. I mean, I think that, you know, I said earlier that you'll see a lot of people doing less than you, talking about what you should be doing with it. If I were you, I would be doing this. Well, first of all, you would have to be me or get to where I am or get to where Deontay Wilder is before you can even make those type of decisions. And or you can, and think about this. This is the thing that's just very calming and relaxing. They would have to get to wherever Deontay Wilder's perceived failures are. They would have to get to that perceived failure.
Yeah.
Before, so think about that. You have to be able to be the world champion, defend the title how many times?
9, 10 times.
10 times. Okay. Do that. Get to that failure. Then you can probably, you know.
Yeah, I can't understand it. I said, and they don't believe that over this Fury and Wilder fought for over a year, and I'm saying over a year. Surely there's got to be improvement in Deontay Wilder. Oh, as soon as he gets punched in the mouth, he's going to revert back. He's been punched in the mouth so many times as a fighter. It doesn't even make sense. Can you make sense of that?
I think that, I mean, let's put it like this. You don't know how close or how far those, because if he's been working with Malik Scott for a long time, he said it's been like 3, 4 weeks and whatever, some right after the fight or whatever. So if you think about that, that means that the other wild stuff he was doing is so far behind it that I think that he likes the new guy that he is. I like the new guy that he is. He looks amazing. I mean, I see him.
That's what I think.
Punches and throwing the body shots. I mean, yeah, but listen, man. He's doing something, put it like this. This is the funny thing about it. He's doing something that he always wanted to do, but he just didn't have a person to give it to him. And I love Mark Breland. Right? I love Mark. I mean, I like him a lot because he's like a living legend. Not like he is a living legend, but I think that this guy can touch him and reach him in a way that Mark probably couldn't. Mm-hmm. And listen, in reality, that doesn't say anything about Mark. It just says like
can't train everybody.
you can't train everybody, and you can't reach everybody, and or you can't help everybody. I think that this guy, man, Malik Scott, is reaching him in a way that I don't know what language they're speaking, but whatever language it is, from what I've seen, is working. That's all I gotta say. I mean, looking the way
Does
he's dipping.
I, do you do you look at the third fight, which would have been Saturday gone, with Wilder and Fury to be the same fight as the first two, or you're going to see a totally different Deontay Wilder, in your opinion?
I think that you'll see they had more time to work. I mean, so I think that Tyson Fury, put it like this. This is the funny thing about this fight, is that it shows that both guys want to win because Tyson Fury lost, really had to draw the first fight, but really should have lost the first fight. But he went and got a new trainer to help him be better, right? And it takes a lot to be smart enough to do that, right? And so I think that even with Deontay Wilder, maybe he has a problem with like being loyal or loyalist and not getting better, but not getting rid of guys who can't help him or who are not helping him, right? So I think maybe you just never know. But he had this guy in the camp with him all along, sparring with him. So it's like, man, I mean, I'm just telling you, this is what I always say. We live in a mid-work world.
Yeah, we do.
We live in a mid-work world. But I think that watching him on the mitts is different because he's not doing this, blah, 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 blah. He's actually throwing punches.
Short punches.
So that's the difference between. See, this was funny about, if you think about boxing, it's so funny. So we live in a mid-work world, all right? But every fighter that works the mitts like that, they throw like 10 punches around.
Yep. And all the rest of the time they're watching.
Well, you know why they only throw 10 punches around? Because that's not applicable. You can't apply that.
You can't that to boxing. You can't.
I mean, you can't apply that to any. Put like this. This is true. Roger Mayweather used to train me. That's for real. He used to train me, and he taught me a lot of stuff. Some things he taught me that you just don't forget, and you just keep. But what happens is, the thing about it is, I don't work the mitts like that. And so, if anybody in the world should be working the mitts like that, it should be me, because I was trained by the guy who created this technique. But I don't do that. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey.
People on the inside know that doesn't really work. You don't. That's not applicable because you're not going to hit nobody with punches like that.
Right.
It's not applicable.
Who's going? I mean, all that stuff like that. But yeah, we're not getting that. But Deontay Wilder looking phenomenal. That's what I want to say. He's looking great.
I'm glad you're saying it.
He's throwing that jab, and he's like he puts some power in the punches. The problem with Deontay Wilder and I would have, I don't know if I want to keep getting hit with the mitts like that. So see, that's the difference. See, we would have a problem with that. Like, hey man, listen, throw the punches, don't throw the, don't throw the bomb squad punches. The shoulders all jammed up right now. Throw the. So yeah, he and I would have issues because of
the right hand. But the thing is,
the way he's punching is that he's punching correctly. And so listen, man, I'll be sore every night. I'm just telling you.
The thing is, people say, oh, when Malik Scott does that, he's doing it and it's all dramatics, but they don't understand how hard the punch is coming from Wilder, and he's actually trying to take this thing out of the shot rather than be dramatic.
Right. Yeah,
that's how hard he's punching.
Yeah. He put like this. I know his shoulders. Good thing about this. When he was throwing when he was doing all the other stuff before, I was like, man, what the hell is he? Because he could hurt the trainer or break his wrist or break his hand. You hit the mitt wrong, you can break his wrist, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure he hurt them a lot when he was doing before he jumping in throwing those. He's like pin on limits. So now he's like, listen, man. But I think that it took something like that to get this guy, this Deontay Wilder, back. Just like it took for Deontay Wilder to really beat Tyson Fury in the first fight. He should have been knocked out. For Tyson Fury to say, man, I need a new trainer. I got it. I want to get better. So both of these guys are right for each other right now, right? Because they both motivated and inspired each other to do better. Even though I think that Deontay probably wouldn't have fired Mark if
Do you? So now I hear that Fury wants to get rid of Sugar Hill, and now he wants to bring in Freddie Roach to the camp to train him for the third fight.
Hey man, I don't know. I sat next to them at the fight when Canelo fought, right? And I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard it, so I don't know what to say about it. But I think that you have to know what works for you. But I think at the same time, you have to know if things are not broken. We have to always have humility in each situation. To be great, you have to be humble. To be great, you have to be humble. You can't throw your accolades up in the air and think everybody's supposed to bow down to them. Remember, I told you, what you win is for you, not for anybody else to be. People don't have to care about that. Because I can tell you this, at every boxing tournament, there is a world champ in the audience that nobody's acknowledging. He's just sitting in the corner quiet. And that tournament, not a big pro show, he comes out to support some amateurs, or even in a pro show. There's a world champion in the audience that nobody's acknowledging because they're like not even paying attention to the guy. See what I'm saying? Because they're looking for the next new thing, So it's like you always got to remember, you always got to be humble.
Yeah,
so I think that
absolutely.
If your guy got you to where you're like a totally different, because he brought out all of attributes that Tyson Fury obviously already had. He just applied them here, applied them there. So I mean, listen, so I mean, I don't know if that be the case. That be the case. I mean, my boxing coach always said, you can't take a donkey to the
Make it
Kentucky
into a line.
Derby.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you can't. Oh, he would always say another thing, which I can't say is politically incorrect. You can't have a short person, little people, teach a big guy how to fight a big guy. So little person.
Interesting. I'm gonna ask you a very odd question. If Anthony Joshua were to lose to Alexander Usyk, would you train him in the rematch?
First of all, I like Anthony Joshua's boxing skills. But I think that I don't watch a lot of boxing, so I've only seen him fight like once or twice. I mean, out of all of his fights, I don't know what his record is, but I've only seen him fight once or twice. But I think that he is the more complete technical heavyweight boxer that I like. I've never seen Usyk fight before. But so what makes you think he's gonna lose the fight?
I don't, but I'm just trying to hear you. I just want to hear whether you would be interested in training him. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, listen. At the end of the day, I know you're passionate about heavyweight boxing, and I'm shocked that there's not a heavyweight that's really come to you, a recognized top 10 heavyweight that said, "I want Derrick James." You're a heavyweight.
Well.
First and foremost.
I'm not saying that there hasn't been. I'm saying that I haven't trained him. I never said nobody.
Yeah, but I know exactly what I'm saying, Derrick.
I know. No, what I said was that I never said a time heavyweight never came to ask me to train him.
Oh, okay, then, Derrick, who was it that came and asked?
I'm not going to say that.
Oh, this is what I was waiting to get, Derrick. I was trying to unlock you there, but you see, that's why I said what I said.
No, man. I mean, no.
Said to unlock you. I was going to call a counterpunch.
You said my hands are blocking the shot. And now, but roll. I really don't roll too much as
Yeah,
I
but
have
you
to.
you were on the ropes there. I did a Castano on you. I pushed you to the ropes and put pressure on you there,
No,
Derek.
Castano didn't push him to the ropes. He just went to the ropes by himself.
No, I trained Castano this time round.
That's good. I mean, like that. I like that. I like that. Come on,
You
come
know,
on.
you know I love to play. You know I love to play with you. Okay,
Yeah,
listen.
yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
says here, yeah, but in all seriousness, would you train someone like Anthony Joshua? I mean, again, you're a heavyweight. You're a
What for? Like
heavyweight first,
what is
training
it?
lower weight
Anthony Joshua?
fighters.
Was
Yeah,
Anthony Joshua? Listen, Anthony Joshua come to Dallas, Texas. Yes. If Anthony Joshua come to Dallas, Texas, yes, I probably would
so you
train him.
wouldn't be prepared to come to England and train
And
Joshua
listen,
in
like,
England?
hey, you, okay, you heard what I said, then you said what you said. If
Yes.
Anthony Joshua comes to Dallas, Texas, yeah, I mean, you good to go.
So you're not prepared to go to England and train. You would
Like
just
I
want to
just
stay at
said,
home.
no, it ain't about me being at home. My training camp, my gym is in Dallas.
Yeah, and the facilities might be better in England.
I kind of doubt that very seriously. And if they are, it's okay. Listen, adversity. Look, did you see out in posted today? It was like 110 degrees in the gym today.
Yeah,
So I think that so much success comes through adversity. I mean, so that's why you can't never really. That's why people can't talk about you. Like people can't talk about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder started boxing for his daughter. See what I'm saying? So
yeah.
how can you talk about Deontay Wilder? He takes care of his daughter like
Mm.
unbelievable, right? And so, and he made so much money that his daughter's taken care of, right? So,
Yeah,
what are we talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't know what pain or sorrow or hardship that people go through to get to where they are. So that's
yeah.
why you can never talk about people. People gonna do what they want to, but
Of
I think
course,
that
of course.
I look at it like this, and so I used to like be bothered when people talk about me. I'm like, man, I mean,
Yeah.
when I think about my life and how I got to
Mm.
where I am, dude, come on, man.
I know, I know, I
I'm a
know. It's
project
sad. It's
kid.
sad.
I'm a kid from the projects, born in the projects. I'm a kid that was supposed to die at birth, for real. I had the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck, and the
Same like
doctor,
myself.
and the doctor's
Same
like,
like
listen,
myself.
we're gonna let him die because we can't let both of y'all die. We had a baby, both of y'all gonna die. We
Oh,
can't. You're alive, the baby's not. So my mother started crying, and they saved my baby. So they, held me up, did a C-section. There we go. Now I'm running. You know what I mean? Get that cerebral palsy or whatever, but because
God
you
bless you.
so what can you say about me, man? You know what I mean? Like you for real, like come on. So it's like
I hear
so
you. I hear you.
when you end up talking about me, like kind of like okay, so yeah, so it's okay.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Is it if you could train any heavyweight in the world today, who would you train and why?
Okay, listen, I only probably know about 5 heavyweights.
Well, okay, we'll work with us five heavyweights then. I'm adaptable. I'm sure you're adaptable too.
Well, if I could train, really, that's a lot. I don't know. I know Anthony Joshua. I know Deontay Wilder. I know Tyson Fury. I know Joe Joyce, but maybe I only seen him fight once. You know,
Big
I
Baby
wouldn't.
Miller. Big Baby Miller.
Big Baby Miller. Yeah, I know Big Baby Miller.
Gerard Anderson. F.A. Ajagba.
F.A. Jaguar. Y'all like a Jaguar. Yeah, but who Atkinson? Who was that? I don't know
Who?
him.
Who?
And
David Adiela. I know David. David. I knew David as an amateur when it was up with. He was sparring with Huey Fury. They brought him in. He was sparring everybody, and he was just looking for opportunities to spar.
David
Very
who?
hungry young man. His name's David Adiele.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't. I
He's
think
young.
that
He's
to
up
be
and coming.
honest, probably out of the heavyweights, I could, Deontay Wilder or either, I could train Anthony Joshua, to be honest. I mean, I like him. I like his abilities. You know what I mean? I think his abilities are amazing. His athleticism is amazing. So I think that's I think that's a good deal. But
the reason why I asked you if he'd lose, if he'd lose, because if he'd win, he's not coming to you. But if he loses, he's going to look what answers, and then they might
you
say,
never know what a fighter. Wait. First of all, you never know what a fighter will do if they win a fight. Listen, a lot of times fighters may win a fight and they'll get rid of their trainer. So don't say that.
Yeah, but it's more likely when a fighter gets his ass bust. That's when they change.
No. There's fighters in the world who will win a fight
because he did change his trainer.
Who?
Mm-hmm. Tyson Fury won a fight, or he got off the deck, and then he changed trainers.
Yeah, there's fighters out there, I'm telling you right now, who would win a fight, look phenomenal in a fight, and then the next fight, they'll bring another trainer in. So I'm telling you, I know some people like that. So I know it's happened. So what I'm saying is, you can't say what a fighter would do. Pause. I got to go to the restroom again. I'm drinking this water, man. Go to the restroom. Pause. No fighters like that.
Hey, we have to throw in a bit of Mr. James. And, I think he enjoys his conversations like this. Let me see what he said. Leif asked the question: has a trainer got to be kind of extra suspicious of everything in the modern world with regards to positive tests of all kinds? Well, as you've seen, Leif, that Derrick James is oblivious. He just did not know anything about water being spiked, and the only thing he talked about is hand wraps, but seems oblivious to all the stuff that's going on, including cameras being covered over in at live events. Salute to you too, Joseph Brown.
All right, man, I'm back, man. Listen, man.
He's back. He's back.
Drinking water. See me drinking water, so I'm staying hydrated.
As he had the holy, watch your water. No, he didn't say that. He said, watch your water. Where's your camera? Where are you? Where's your camera? Where are you? Don't tell me I'm losing connection here. Oh my God. Don't tell me. Oh, there we go. Got you there. Yeah. Stay hydrated. Stay humble, as Joshua would say. It says here, whispers are that Derrick James is a cop.
What?
You're a cop. You're a police officer.
Police officer? Why would I be a police officer? Man, listen, man. No, I'm like this. No, I'm not a police officer. I was recruited by Las Vegas Police Department before when I was in the amateurs. Hal Miller was a police sergeant or the chief, whatever. And he was on the USA boxing team. Matter of fact, he went to England when I went to fight against Young England. And he asked me to, no, man, I'm not doing that. Too many people in my family, every man in my family been in prison other than myself. So, hey, I don't hate anybody. I'm not a police officer, man.
Life asked the question.
Like that, what's that about?
I don't know. You tell me. You got some strange ones sometimes.
Well, listen, if I was, what's wrong with that? If I was good, what's wrong with that?
Actually, on the subject of Las Vegas, and did you know that one of the boxing inspectors got arrested? I think I might send you the article about it as well. He got arrested. How did you feel about that, by the way?
Officer, what's so bad about that? I'm not one, but come on, man. Listen, I know some good police officers, though. Some nice,
some bad ones as well.
Huh?
And you know some not so good ones as well.
No, I don't know them.
I don't know them.
I don't know.
You don't want to know them.
Huh?
You don't want to know them.
No, I don't want to know them. But I know some good ones. I know some good guys. So some good officers. Yeah.
Life asked the question: has a trainer got to be extra suspicious of everything in the modern world with regards to positive tests of all kinds?
No, I mean, I'm not a skepticist. I don't have to be skeptical of everything. I mean, so you saying to just suspect anything and everything of any? Nah, man, I'm okay, man.
Well, look, you're fighting Manny Pacquiao, and we know the very stories that have been around him.
Yeah,
The testing, and he should get tested, and Pacquiao say he didn't like needles, and people went, "Oh, you don't like needles? How come you've got a tattoo on your arm?" That sort of stuff, and him moving up in weight and knocking everybody out.
that was a stick on. That tattoo was like from the Cracker Jack box that he had on his arm.
Is that true? Or are you making that up?
I'm joking. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh dear me, dear me. The next question up says, okay, if Tyson Fury asked Derrick, would you train him to fight Wilder?
No.
Uh,
Hmm?
wow, wow.
Well, what?
Why?
Man, it's a very difficult situation, man. I'm Team USA all day. So just
I
like
hear that one.
if Anthony Joshua fighting American fight, like, no, man, I have to do like Floyd Senior did when Oscar fought Floyd Jr. I train you, but I won't train you for this fight. I train you again after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't train against Team USA.
So people say it's mad respect. Derrick James, these stupid things. Okay. Ask. Here we go. Here it comes now. Mad respect for Derrick James. Credit to him. Sheriff James goes here. Ask
What
coach.
difference? Listen. So this is the thing about it. What difference does it make whether the police officer or not? I mean, are you a criminal? Like, what are you talking about? Like, how stupid does that sound? Like, because you think listen, if I was a police officer, I mean, I'm not ashamed of that, but I'm not a police officer. I mean, come on, man, please. So why would it even matter unless you're a criminal? Like, why do you even care? I mean, so.
Maybe they are criminals, Uncle. I
Hey
called you
man,
Uncle, man.
listen, if they're
Derrick.
coming up like this, man, I'm not an officer. I mean, come on, dude. I'm not. That's just
Oh,
not.
that's
I know.
that's what I
Look,
was thinking.
but you know what's funny? The more and more I get, I mean, the bigger you get, more whatever more police officers. But I mean, come on.
While I was thinking, Uncle, that was it. Now I want to do uh, a once in a lifetime uh, show that would involve yourself and Uncle James Ali Bashir. The old school, and I wouldn't say the new school, but two top trainers to hear wisdom from both of you guys in boxing. I would just love to be able to have that. Many people have asked me to try and get it done. We did one with Tunde Ajayi and Uncle Bashir, and we'd love to get one with you in the room at some point in time.
I
How do you
mean, that's
feel about that?
possible. That's possible, man. Listen, I see that's your guy. To where is he? Is he live in America still? Or is he somewhere else?
Yeah, he's in America.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah, he's in
cool.
America. He's
Okay,
in he's in New York training Vlad Sarenko, and he's getting a new Ukrainian guy as well.
okay, that's cool.
I had
Okay,
him on the show about an hour before you had him on the show
today.
today.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, all right.
We know Derrick. We know I'm not. I know I'm not far off. Haha. Derrick,
Right.
you're a legend. The same guy who thinks you're maybe be a cop. This is you're a legend.
I think that's funny, man. I mean, listen, man. I, hey, man, it was funny. You have the right to believe what you want to believe. You have the right to be who I want to be. But I'm not a police officer. What makes you a
Okay,
police officer? Like, I mean,
you're gonna go to bed thinking about that now. Don't let
no,
them.
I'm
Don't
not.
let them get in your head.
Listen, no, I'm
Don't let them
not.
get in your head, Derrick. Don't let them get in your
Promise
head.
I'm not. No, I'm not. No.
All right. Ask coach. Is the one on one is the 110 heat the secret ingredient to training at the gym?
Yeah, it could be because I mean, you think about the adversity that you suffer through in the gym. Not to mention being punched on. And it's an additive, an extra additive. It shows what kind of fortitude, it's how tough you really are. How bad do you really want it? Because really, I know people, they won't come to the gym. Okay, whatever.
How important is the jab in slowing down an aggressive fighter?
The most important punch in boxing is the jab. There's no other punch more significant than the jab.
Yeah,
You think,
it is.
I mean, that's the most important. So that pertains to any aspect of boxing. So with it being to an aggressive fighter, it's just as much. As you think about this, go back to Brian Castano fighting JERMELL Charlo. When JERMELL Charlo was popping the jab, what was Castano doing? Okay, there
Zero.
we go. There
Yeah,
we go.
absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Does Derrick James have a childhood memory of seeing a great fight? If so, what fight was it? And Leif Gramerson asked the question.
I'm gonna tell you, what the fight, I think one of the greatest punch combinations or punch sequences was when Cigarette Leonard stopped Tommy Hearns and hit him with boom, boom, and man just like, oh, just gotta, that's like, I mean, man, listen, man, there's nothing sweeter than that because you see, like, he just took everything out of him, like all the fight, everything he had in him, the tough guy, he
That
took everything out of him with that boom, boom, man. I
that
can't believe that.
combination, he went to the body.
Man.
Mike Tyson, Frank Bruno, first fight on the ropes. Well, Mike had him on the ropes and he hit him to the
Right.
body, and then he brought it upstairs. And Bruno's lifted Bruno's chin off
Right.
his shoulders.
Right.
Same sort of viciousnly.
Right.
Sugar Ray was one hell of a fighter.
He was one amazing fighter, man. He was very like, I think he had like the edge, like he always wanted to prove, because I think that when you talk to him, you're like, for people, the funny thing about boxers is that in people is that we're so insecure as people, period, right? People are so insecure as people. But what happens is that even as fighters, which you would think that they would not be, that they generally are, right? And so that's what a lot of that viciousness come from, with Ray Leonard was that. His insecurity level. Mike Tyson, his insecurity level, his fears, and so you would think that these guys are so one thing, but then the other thing, they're not really not what you think they are. They're really guys who are just like you and they just choose to do a particular job.
If if your guy if your guy becomes undisputed,
Yeah.
how does that affect Errol Spence moving up from welterweight?
But I never lived in the if land, so I live in the he's when not if when he becomes undisputed. I don't think it affects him at all. I think that Errol Spence is still a welterweight.
But Errol Spence is good. Is after this fight, the story is that he's moving from welterweight to light middleweight.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I didn't know that.
Well, there's a lot of things you didn't seem to know tonight, so I don't know.
Hey man, but, I come to your show. I learned a lot of stuff, man. I learned I'm an officer. I learned that Errol's moving up in weight.
Is he struggling with weight though?
No.
He's a big guy. Is he struggling with weight?
No, he's making his weight, man. He's making the weight. He's doing good.
Because we spoke before, much earlier, about a Canelo fight.
That doesn't mean he's struggling with weight.
No. I'm talking about a Canelo fight. After you beat Pacquiao, then the next super fight would be against Canelo because arguably.
Who said that, man? I didn't say that.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there.
You look what you just said.
Throwing it out.
Wait. Let's get some clarity. You said, I remember we spoke. Then you said, we did. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, of course I'm throwing it out there, but yeah, I'm throwing it out there.
I'm listening to you, man. I heard what you said. I'm listening to you. You said we spoke.
I'll tell you, it's the double punch. Yeah, that's the double punch. That's the Pacquiao double punch. Yeah, yeah.
Come on, man. I don't know anything about it, but I mean, like that.
But okay, JERMELL Charlo, undisputed light middleweight champion. Errol Spence beats Pacquiao, superstar fighter, and then people say, okay, well, are you going to move up in weight?
But if you look at it like this,
Okay.
I think one doesn't affect the other. I think that Errol has a star that doesn't need a belt. I think that once after Pacquiao victory, even before Pacquiao victory, he has a star that doesn't need a belt. But what happens is sanctioning bodies need, let's jump. Lasso, throw him, let's jump on that. You know what I mean? So they jump onto him. He doesn't jump onto them. You know what I'm saying? They need him. He doesn't need them necessarily.
But does that affect?
Oscar De La Hoya said that boxers don't need belts.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? Hey, man, I gotta go to work in the morning, man. I gotta get.
Okay, we're gonna stop. We stop.
25.
I've done longer than I was meant to go. So to be fair,
I
we'll stop here.
was like, man, I thought I was gonna be done by in bed by 9:30. It's after 10 o'clock.
Yeah, you know, slipped a few more punches in there, but you know how it goes.
You did, yeah.
Derrick James, thank you so much for being a good sport and the legendary trainer
Don't
that
mean
you are.
cut you off like that.
No.
Work,
You said from the start you got to get to work, you know, and you got to get your rest.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you, and everyone in the show sends their love and appreciates you
Man,
so
yeah,
much.
man, there's a lot of people asking questions, man. You know, I'm a copper. Come on, man. Yeah. I mean,
that's
like it's not like that's a bad thing, but I mean, I'm not an officer. I wouldn't be a bad officer though.
I think you'd be a pretty good one, actually.
I wouldn't be one of those other guys that do some bad stuff. I wouldn't do that. No.
That's another conversation for another day.
Well, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Derrick, it was a pleasure having you, and I hope the next time we do a show together, it's with yourself and Uncle Bashir in the same room.
No doubt. You just let me know.
Okay, for your time as always.
Take care. Thank you.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching.
Peace.
Peace.